I apologize for the long video, but it has a point. Needless to say, the brother and the baby survived. The sisters died on impact. When we went over to help, I finally realized who it was that got hit, and I got to watch them pull out the bodies because I was stupid and paying attention to it. I saw them drag the lifeless body of my friend out of this car. And, you know, I've seen dead animals, I've seen dead people on TV, I've seen horrible accidents, but never of anyone I knew. And I wasn't even friends with this girl. I never talked to her before. She was just in my senior class. But I had nightmares for 2 weeks. I had horrible nightmares. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. Because I was worried that, just like her, because she was engaged. And I was worried like her. I was going to end up having something happen to me and the people I cared about not know how I feel. So I wrote a 4.5-page letter to my best friend Gary, who is now my wonderful husband, telling him what had happened, how it made me feel, how it made me think about things and put things into perspective. And I told him how I felt about him. He read it in front of me. He didn't say anything. He gave me a hug and he left. And he didn't talk to me for 3 days. I was so scared. He comes to school the day after the 3 days of not talking to me. He gets on one knee in the middle of the hallway and he pulls out a ring. And I will take it off and show it to you because it doesn't fit my finger anymore. And I have a wedding ring now. But he pulls out this ring, which is a Celtic knot. And he says, "Now I'm not asking you to marry me. I'm not asking you to spend the rest of your life with me. Yet. But I feel the same way about you. And I know in my heart that no matter what, we are meant to be together." And I couldn't say anything. I didn't know what to respond with. And he says, "This ring is not a assumption. It is a promise that I will stay with you until the day I die or the day you do. And that I will be a father unlike any other father to the child growing in your belly. No matter what happens, I will stay with you from this day on. And you can keep this ring as a token of what is to come." And he asked me to be his girlfriend. And I said no. Isn't that horrible? I took the ring, and I appreciated the promise, but I said no. He asked me again a couple of weeks later, and I said yes. I didn't want him to get into a life that he didn't develop, basically. I didn't want him to accept someone else's responsibilities or problems. But I realized that someone willing to take that much responsibility and that much problems must really care about me. Must really love me for who I am. Ever since the day I moved out of my son's father's house, I did not hear from him then on. I I went to go get government aid with my fiance to help with the baby. By the way, my husband named our son because his biological father was not there when he was born. And he raised him until he was 8 months old. That's when I went to court for child support with my son's biological father. He took care of him, he named him, he raised him, he helped me while he was still going through his senior year in high school. A week before he graduated, we got married, going through visitation at that time with the biological father. So I met my husband in high school, and the sweetest romantic part about it is I was never popular. I was never part of the circle. I was never a good thinker or talker, anything. Neither was he. But because he wanted people to see how much of a wonderful person I was, he took me back to our high school for the homecoming dance, for his last homecoming dance. And I'm out in the middle of the dance floor, sitting down, talking to old friends that I had in high school, and talking to people. And he plays our song, which is Silent Lucidity by Queensryche. I think I pronounced the band name right. And I hear it, and I knew something was up. And I turn around, and he's there. And he had already asked me to marry him. And I already had the engagement ring on. Well, he had taken it and said he was going to get it cleaned the day before. He put me in the middle of the dance floor with everyone that hated me, my son's biological father, everyone that made fun of me, everyone that told me I'd never amount to anything, that no one would ever care about me. And he asked me to marry him again, in front of everyone. And then we danced, and it was amazing. And we got married May 19th, 2006. It'll be 4 years next year, 5 years together, 6 years of being friends and knowing each other. It's been a long time. Before I met my husband, the longest relationship I ever had was 6 months. So, I'm happy about that, for as far as being with him for so long. And we've passed the 3-year mark, where 60% of relationship advisors say that marriages end in the first 3 years, and that marriages between high school sweethearts end within the first year. So fuck you guys, because I proved you wrong. I love my husband so much, and we've been through so much. It's an amazing story of obstacles, and that's not even the detailed story. I'm glad you asked the question, because it gave me a chance to think about my husband and how much we've been through. So there you go. There's my story in a nutshell. I hope you like it, and thanks for asking.